Hello and welcome to Running the Table, the podcast where we run through everything on the table in the world of sports. And as we continue our divisional round recaps, we're going to move on to the game between the New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles. Although it wasn't much of a game, it was kind of a shellacking from start to finish. Regardless, are you ready to run it?
Let's run it.
Absolutely. Philadelphia comes away and dominates 38-7. I mean, for the Giants, game 3 didn't go much better than games 1 and 2. Philadelphia had them out to a 28-0 lead at the half and didn't look back. Philadelphia ran the ball down their throats, 268 total rushing yards from multiple guys. Kenny Gainwell had 112, Miles Sanders had 90, Jalen Hurts had 34, and Boston Scott had 32 and his 11th career touchdown against the Giants. 11 out of 19 against the Giants. The man known as Boston is a New York killer, as all things are in the world.
Yeah, I mean, this one, start to finish, the Giants just didn't know how to react. The Eagles really just punched them in the mouth to begin with, getting those two first quarter touchdowns. And you could see this game start to slip away right within those first like three drives, because you come away with like the turnover and then some 3-and-outs, and all of a sudden the Eagles, I mean, they're putting points up like it's nothing. And the big thing that surprised me, at least, was obviously we know just how good the Eagles offensive line is, but they were getting a push on that Giants defensive line that is not particularly common against that Giants D line. That Giants D line is pretty solid, with guys like Dexter Lawrence lining up in the middle, and Thibodeau and other guys on the outside. They got bullied. They got straight up
absolutely
bullied.
did. And that's part of the reason why the rushing offense had so much success. It's also the reason why Jalen Hurts had so much time to throw. His right shoulder that's been bothering him seemed absolutely unaffected. And Jalen Hurts was really good. 3 total touchdowns on the day.
Yeah, I mean, part of it was they didn't make it too tough on him. I mean, realistically, he had, like you said, he had a lot of time. He had guys open all over the field. But he still made some great plays and some great throws. That one-handed catch by Dallas Goedert was just nasty.
Oof, that was
The
beautiful.
scramble to the end zone for Jalen Hurts. I mean, as we've seen, I think most people that have seen Jalen Hurts play throughout the season can tell you that wasn't him necessarily playing at 100%, because his true physicality, where he's really just fearless and will kind of put his body anywhere, he was a little bit held back, especially in some of his opportunities running the ball. But he's still a really, really good quarterback when he isn't just trying to exert himself as a physical force of nature. And he played really well regardless. So he'll have some more time just to iron things out and make sure that shoulder is looking good. But he looks great, and the rest of the offense made it pretty easy on him.
Yeah, and I think it's worth noting that on the defensive side of the ball, Daniel Jones was uncomfortable all games. I mean, they sacked Daniel Jones.
Talk about flipping the script. They made life
yeah.
uncomfortable for Daniel Jones.
They sacked him 5 times and they hit him 8 times, and that's a lot of hits for Daniel Jones to be taking.
Yeah.
He also threw an interception to former teammate James Bradberry, which
hell of a pick. That was a great interception.
But what a bargain for the Eagles to just steal him from the Giants, and now he's making plays against his former team. Just
yeah,
it all comes together, circle of life, circle of death, and now the Giants are eliminated.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Jones, I from watching the game, I mean, he fought, he did everything he could, but he wasn't given much time in the pocket. And one thing is, he also wasn't given much in the form of scrambling lanes. I mean, they contained him pretty well on that end as well. 6 rushes for 24 yards. Most of the time, if you're able to lock up those receivers so well, oftentimes they'll be, a step off trying to contain the quarterback. They were on him all night. So they really there wasn't much going. Saquon, I mean, he tries to do what Saquon can do, getting 9 rushes for 61 yards.
So much room.
But one of the things is the game script just did not allow for them to run the ball that much. So despite him being effective on the ground, they had to go through the air to try to, get back in the game. And that was where the Eagles are most comfortable, and they were just locking them down all over the field.
And I mean, although it was an exit in the divisional round for the Giants, still a fantastic year. Another one of those teams that absolutely turned it around from picking towards the top of the draft. Brian Dable comes in, does his Wizard Hagrid thing, and now they win a playoff game against a very fraudulent Vikings team. But then again, nobody expected the Giants to have a playoff win. And Daniel Jones is going to accidentally himself into a contract extension, even though should he get it, that's more so up for debate, but he played well enough with Brian Dable to give him a look for at least one more year. And for the Eagles, it's on to the NFC Championship game against San Francisco, the number 1 seed against the number 2 seed in Philly. That should be a fun one. But that's all we got for our Eagles and Giants recap. Eagles moving on, Giants going home. But we'll be recapping that divisional game and so many others, along with a bunch of other stuff throughout the playoffs that we'll be bringing to you. So if you want more from us, like and subscribe. And until next time, we out.